seek help, and the stigma. On the news this evening, one person reportedly feared dead, another injured as tanker overturns at Rumosi. Governor Fubara pledges continued partnership with Church for Peaceful Society. Senate summons NSA, DSS bosses over allegations against USAID. On the foreign scene, Egypt says Gaza should be rebuilt without displacing Palestinians. I'm Sam Chinedu, and the news continues after the break. Welcome back. An eyewitness says one person is now feared dead and another critically injured after a tanker fell and spilled its contents at the Rumosi axis of the East-West Road. The eyewitness said the tanker carrying diesel was attempting to avoid a taxi before it fell. It also gathered that the victims of the accident are the driver of the tanker and security personnel. Security personnel are currently at the scene of the accident. The Rivers State Police Command is yet to confirm if there was any casualty. Our correspondent reports that vehicular movements have been blocked on both lanes of the East-West Road from Rumosi Junction. Vehicles from Alakahia and Obirikwere axis are being diverted. In the meantime, the Community Development Committee Chairman of Rumosi, Kevin Amanya Ihunda, has frowned at street trading activities and indiscriminate parking of vehicles under the Ring Road flyover in the area. Mr. Amanya Ihunda, who said the fallen tanker incident was caused by illegal parking, said the community will ensure that trading under the flyover is immediately brought to an end.
When this truck was turning, there are Okada men parking along the road. The truck was dodging the Okada. The thing now fell. Well, thank God there was no loss of life. We will ensure those people selling under the flyover, especially the turn areas, will be off from the road. From tomorrow morning, nobody will see Okada man here at the junction. And those selling under the flyover, they should leave the place because it has to do with life, it has to do with safety. Assuming there was any fire ignition, more than 20 people would have died.
Meanwhile, the spokesperson of the River State Police Command, SP Grace Iringa Koko, says normalcy has returned to the Bogoro community, Obiakpo local government area, after a fatal accident claimed one life yesterday. Speaking to correspondent Emeka Otuka, SP Iringa Koko confirmed that the driver of the truck involved in the incident has been arrested and is in police custody. She, however, said she's not aware of any reprisal attack that reportedly led to another death, but assured that the police are investigating the incident. The federal government has banned 60,000-litre fuel tankers from Nigerian roads starting March 1, 2025. This is part of measures to mitigate accidents resulting from truck in transit or heavy fuel trucks. Executive Director of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Obugo Ukoha, just announced this to newsmen in Abuja. In another development, an environmental rights campaigner, Celestine Akpobari, has called for compensation for the Ogale community in Eleme local government area, which he says has suffered severe environmental degradation due to oil exploration. His call comes 6 days after the people of Ogale community staged a peaceful protest today against the impact of oil spillage in their communities caused by Shell Nigeria. Speaking on Nigeria Info FM's Talking Figures, Mr. Akpobari said the community's land has been barren, making it difficult for residents to sustain their livelihood.
The Ogale and Bile community are asking the court to grant them compensation because the activities of the oil company Shell have destroyed their means of livelihood, being predominantly fishermen and farmers, that they can no longer fish and they can no longer farm, and their water body have been polluted onto the water table. So the situation in their communities is as bad as that. If you plant something, it does no longer yield the support harvest. The land is shocked and dry. As for the river, you don't need to talk about it because they can't fish anymore.
While acknowledging the contributions of all companies to the region's development, Mr. Akpobari said this progress has come at a cost to the local population. He urged the companies to take responsibility and ensure that their operations do not further harm the livelihoods of the Ogale community.
It is better to do the right things because we have observed over time that these companies cut corners to pay for the damages they have done to the environment and livelihoods of community people. If you get a manageable profit and use the others to secure and protect your facilities and your equipment to the extent that you don't allow them to go rusty and release into the river and the farms, then the community people will be happy. The government need to sit up, the oil company need to sit up to be able to protect the communities where they are working.
Moving on, Governor Siminalayi Fubara says his administration will continue to partner with the church to ensure a peaceful society. Governor Fubara said this in his address at the Standing Committee meeting of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion held at the Cyprian's Anglican Church in Port Harcourt today. Governor Fubara said many of the challenges faced in the country can be overcome if everyone works in synergy.
The few things that I mentioned there are not different from what we as a government are scaled into. Issues of security, of life and property, welfare of our citizens when it comes to issues of healthcare. We also have aspects of youth development that the Rivers State government, under my watch, will support the Church of Nigeria. We are partners. Government cannot do it alone.
Earlier in his address, the Archbishop Metropolitan Primate of all Nigeria, Henry Ndukuba, called for a new constitution crafted by citizens.
Just as we pray, we must also determine to make a difference and return this nation to the path of life and recovery. God, who delivered Jerusalem from the siege of King Sennacherib, will deliver us. But much depends on the collective action of all who desire the best for this nation. We need a newly drafted national constitution crafted by the citizens.
Correspondent Onyeka Chinwosu reports that the governor announced a donation of 500 million naira to support the church. Later today, Governor Fubara received the new General Officer commanding GOC 6th Division Nigerian Army, Major General Emmanuel Emeka, and identified pipeline vandalism, community crisis as some of the challenges that require the attention of security personnel in the state. The governor assured the new GOC and his team of his government support to reduce insecurity and other vices in the state.
Our task today is gradually becoming complicated. Issues of pipeline vandalization, destruction of gas line, and also the worst part of it, some persons who have decided to engineer community crisis in most areas of oil operation. So please, while you're taking that responsibility as part of your assignment, wherever we need to come in, endeavor to reach us so that we can also apply our own mechanism.
In his address earlier, the new General Officer commanding 6th Division, Nigerian Army, Major General Emmanuel Emeka, said he's committed to the task of protecting the nation's infrastructure in his domain.
See that the task of the division is very easy. It's simple and straight to protection of critical national infrastructure in the maritime and the oil domain, and also to ensure security in the South region. That I pledge that will give it our utmost attention to ensure that everything is done.
Still to come, Senate summons NSA, DSS bosses over allegations against USAID. Stay tuned. Welcome back. A human rights lawyer, Haya King, has backed a directive by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi banning the Nigeria Police Force from parading suspects. In an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka, Mr. King condemned the public parade of unconvicted suspects, calling it barbaric and a violation of fundamental human rights. He said every individual, regardless of the crime they are accused of, has the right to a fair hearing.
It is wrong to parade anybody in the name of police briefing, either by the police or DSS or EFCC. That's wrong. Because at that point, person is still a suspect. That person is not convicted. So for the IGP to wake up today to say it should be stopped, that's a welcome development. Maybe they are now trying to obey the law. That's commendable of the IGP to do that. Let them follow the law. Because the person is a suspect at any point up to the day of conviction. That is a suspect. Barbaric is anti-constitution, anti-people. You can brief the press by not showing the suspect.
Mr. King, who also serves as of the NBA Human Rights, stated that it is unlawful for the police to disclose the other professionals are own inadmissible in court, as they may be gained through coercion or false promise.
When the court all the traditional statements and the person so compromised, they are only so not taking on a person say that no, professional judiciary will be given off now.
Away from that, the Senate has asked the heads of the National Security Advisor, the National Intelligence Agency, and Defense Intelligence Agency to appear before it over allegations of funding of terrorist group Boko Haram by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. The call for an urgent investigation into allegations that international organizations, including USAID, may be funding terrorist groups like Boko Haram, followed the motion raised by Senator Ali Ndume on the urgent need to probe the matter. During plenary, lawmakers expressed concerns over a viral video of U.S. Congressman Scott Perry, who alleged at a congressional hearing that USAID has been involved in financing terrorist activities across the world, including Boko Haram. In other news, the Rivers State Commissioner for Health, Adeze Ore, has called for responsible health reporting in order to stop the spread of misinformation and disinformation. Dr. Adeze made the call while giving a lecture on health communication, bridging policy, public engagement, and crisis response at the Faculty of Communication and Media Studies, Rivers State University. She urged students interested in health communication to always be responsible by carrying out timely research and investigation aimed at improving the well-being of the public.
Primarily, our responsibility is towards upholding the health and the well-being of the people. No politics involved. It is about human life. And so illness and ill health do not respect party preferences. And so with that in mind, we also know that we have a responsibility to carry out timely in-depth research. Our research and our investigations have shown that we are armed with the truth, we are armed with the information that will help our public improve their health and well-being.
Also speaking, convener of the one-day guest lecture, Sarah Chidebere Joe, said health communication is not merely an academic discipline, but a vital component of public health intervention, policy implementation, and behavioral change.
This is not just an academic exercise, but a call to action. Health communication is a powerful tool that can be harnessed to prevent diseases, dispel misinformation, mobilize communities, and influence policy decisions that affect millions. Let today's conversations inspire us to think critically, act responsibly, and champion the transformative power of communication in public health.
On his part, the Vice Chancellor of the Rivers State University, Lerum Okobure, pushed for positive communication that will be beneficial to society. On the foreign scene, Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has called on the international community to adopt a plan to rebuild war-torn Gaza without displacing Palestinians. His comments come after a proposal by U.S. President Donald Trump angered Arabs with his own vision for the enclave. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, who spoke at a press conference with Spain's Prime Minister in Madrid, said the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency, which provides aid, health and education services to millions in the Palestinian territories and neighboring Arab countries of Syria, Lebanon, and Jordan, was indispensable for Palestinians. On the news this evening, you heard one person has been reportedly feared dead and another injured as a tanker overturned at Rumosi. Governor Fubara has pledged to continue partnering with the church for a peaceful society. The Senate has summoned NSA and DSS bosses over allegations against USAID. On the foreign scene, Egypt says Gaza should be rebuilt without displacing Palestinians. The news was edited by Martha Okere. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I'm Sam Chinedu. Thanks for listening.